Welcome to Fair and Square, a weekly program where we meet up and meet with well-known personalities who have distinguished themselves in their respective careers. Our guest today is international shooting star Abhinav Bindra, who won the first ever individual gold for India in the Olympic Games. Welcome to the show, Abhinav. I think this year you haven't taken part in too many events, no?
I have not competed much ever since the Olympics. I'm just about getting into it again. I didn't want to shoot actually after Beijing. I wanted to quit.
Okay.
So it's been quite a...
But I thought in February this year you took part in a tournament in France.
Yeah, I've been competing now.
Yeah.
I've been competing, but I started competing only last year. It started last year. In 2010, I think. I trained specifically for the Commonwealth Games.
But why was this that you wanted to quit after the Beijing Olympics?
I had no motivation.
Was that the main...
Yeah, I've been doing it for 16 years, so it's also a long time. So I had
in a way the goal was fulfilled.
Yes, yes. And then I had no further interest in it, so I had a lack of any motivation.
So what is the next tournament you are preparing for now?
Well, the next competitions are now we are trying to qualify. I'm trying to qualify for the London Olympics, so we have qualifying competitions, and I'm trying to qualify, trying to perform to a high level, and trying to be the best that I can be. So it's very challenging because there are a lot of good shooters around the world, and it is a very competitive sport. So it's hard, but it's hard, but that's what makes it interesting and fun.
So, Abhinav, is there a change in your training schedule, your module of training now, and since you participated last in the Beijing Olympics in 2008?
I won't say there are many changes in training. I think it's pretty much the same thing. You can't. Unfortunately, there's no magic available anywhere. It all boils down to hard work and training in all aspects of the game. But what I can say is that things change. You change as a person, and your challenges were something what may not have been an issue maybe 5 years ago, may be an issue now. So you have to deal with you have to deal with the changing circumstances and new challenges that you face. And this is a new phase for me, and I'm trying to overcome my own barriers and trying to perform to my potential. And that's the goal.
You said you're trying to overcome your own barriers. So what is the barrier you set for yourself?
Well, you always, at the end of the day, I'm a human being. I'm not a machine, and there are challenges that you face in performance. I don't believe I'm the most talented. I've never believed that I've been the most talented individual in sport. I don't think I'm athletic, and I have no athletic DNA in my body. But these are all challenges that one has to overcome, and you can overcome them if you have a will.
If we talk about the Commonwealth Games in 2010, you had the rare honor of carrying the Indian flag during the initial march past. How did you feel then?
Yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I think it's probably the only time in my sporting career that I would get an opportunity to compete in an event of that magnitude at home. So it was something special. I've never been fond of opening ceremonies or closing ceremonies, but the Delhi Games were special primarily because it was at home, and the sort of reception that the Indian contingent got was special, and I was happy and proud to be part of it.
It also made sure that you attend the opening ceremony.
Yes. If I wasn't supposed to do that, I would have probably missed it.
Okay. But later, were you disappointed when you did not win the gold in your individual event?
No, I performed to a high level. I'd only started shooting recently in 2010, and I performed to a high level. It was just that my teammate was better than me on that particular day, but that doesn't mean that I was bad. I wasn't disappointed. I was actually quite encouraged and happy with my performance.
If we talk about the earlier days, they always say that shooting in particular requires a very high level of mental fitness. You had a mental coach in Dr. Amit Bhattacharjee. How did that help you?
Well, I think of course it's a very mental sport in the sense that it requires a high degree of concentration, and it's a sport where you're always competing with your own self. So whenever you are in a circumstance or in an event where you are going to be competing against your own self, it's bound to raise a lot of conflict. And that's what shooting is all about, to overcome your own self. And there at that, in those moments when you have somebody to just encourage you, or to have faith in you, and then to be positive, to be positive when the chips are down, it certainly helps, and that's what Dr. Bhattacharya helped me with, and it's been a good association, and he's been always there. He's been a very positive influence in my career. And
the other person who initially spotted the talent in you and who expressed faith in you perhaps was Colonel Dhillon, who was one of your first coaches?
Yes, of course, he's been my first coach. Of course, I've had other coaches ever since, but Colonel Dhillon still comes to train when I shoot at home, and I'm training at home. He still comes to watch me shoot, and most definitely is the one who got me into the sport, motivated me to persist with it, and certainly he's been another influential figure in my career.
Before the Beijing Olympics, you had a Swiss coach. Is that coach continuing to coach you even today?
Yes, I've had an association with Gabriela Buhlmann for the last 12-13 years, and that continues. I continue to go and train with her, and in fact I just got back before my last competition. I was training with her for a few days, and I am going to go back again in the next few days.
Going back to the 2000 Olympics, when you were 11th in the qualifying round and you did not qualify for the finals, did that disappoint you?
Not at all. I think Sydney was my first Olympic Games. When you go to your first Olympic Games, I think you're just too happy to just be there.
And you were only 19 then?
I was actually, I celebrated my 18th birthday there. I was 17 when I competed.
Okay.
It was a very encouraging performance. To be 11th in the whole world at 17, I think it was remarkable, and it was a performance which gave me the belief that yes, that one day I can go all the way and go and win the Olympic Games, because I was 11th at the Olympics in Sydney, but I wasn't too far from a medal. I was only a couple of points away, and that was and my performance gave me the encouragement and the belief that yes, I can do it.
You had the first international tournament perhaps was the 1998 Commonwealth Games, and after that you took part in a number of international events. Abhinav, when was it that you realized that you could actually win an Olympic gold?
The moment I completed my event in Sydney, I think it was 5 or 10 minutes after that I said to myself that you can go and do it, and I think that had a huge impact on me, and I believed I could win a gold medal and win a gold medal in Athens. Unfortunately, it did not happen in Athens, even though I did very well. I broke an Olympic record in Athens, but it didn't happen, and it wasn't meant to be. But I'm glad that I persisted.
So did Athens strengthen your resolve to work harder and do it even better in the next Olympics?
Yes and no. Athens was heartbreaking for me. It was extremely disappointing because I was so close and yet so far. It required a lot of energy and a lot of encouragement from people around me to actually get back into the sport. At one point of time after Athens, I wanted to retire. So, but I certainly didn't want to retire without something to show, and I'm glad that I persisted.
2006, I think, started your winning streak, and then you were down with a crippling back injury. How did you recover from that?
Yes, 2006 was a special year. I won, I think, 4 medals at the Commonwealth Games. I became the first Indian to become world champion in 2006, yes. And that was a big moment for me. It was one of my breakthrough moments in my sporting career, and unfortunately I had a back injury right then. It was again hard because it meant that I had to stay away from the game. I could not compete, I could not train, and I had to spend 7 or 8 months just trying to recover. But again, I was determined to get over it, and I had that deep desire to win a medal at the Olympics. So that deep desire got me through.
And in the Beijing Olympics, just before the event, how confident were you that this is the moment?
There are so many people who can do well, and it's a matter of how you do it on that particular moment and on that particular day. Having said that, I was very confident going into my event. I think I prepared very well. I had prepared, taken everything into consideration, and my preparation was so strong that that was what gave me confidence. I did not have blind faith. I did not have a blind amount of confidence. It was my work that I put in preparing for the games that gave me belief, and that gave me the confidence.
I know this has been asked before, but when you won the Olympic gold medal in Beijing, what was it that crossed your mind?
The first emotion, what you feel is that a relief, because you've put your life into something, and you want something to happen, and it's such a subjective thing. And in sport is something where there are no guarantees for anything, and I'm glad that things clicked for me. And my first emotion was that of a lot of relief, and turned with it, and which then I obviously had a lot of satisfaction that yes, I persisted, and I persisted through all the ups and downs, and I finally made it. So it was great.
And in the couple of weeks after that, you got all the adulation, a lot of praise, a lot of sponsorship offers, and perhaps even matrimonial offers?
Yes, I still continue to get them sometimes. Yes, the adulation was something which I certainly did not expect. It was something which was a surprise to me. But I guess it was, I think Olympic medals unfortunately do not happen in, we do not win so much, and I think that is one of the reasons why it was so special to the whole country.
It's a little personal question, but since you have so many sponsorship deals going, how much is the money that you earn from the sponsorship?
I don't have many sponsorship deals going anymore. I did get some endorsements right after the Olympics, but I don't really have any sponsorships at the moment, and whatever money I made, I already have spent it. Back.
Did you make big money?
Nah, I've made a little bit, but I think I've already spent it. It's an expensive sport, and I've already used it back into my training.
And you also continue to be the brand ambassador for the Steel Authority of India?
No, I never became the brand ambassador for the Steel Authority of India. It was announced, but it did not eventually happen.
Okay. Why didn't it happen?
Well, it's I don't know about that. It's I think the former minister announced it, I think, out of excitement, but then everybody forgot about it, I think.
Do you feel that the cricketers are the ones who get most of the endorsements and the sponsorship deals even now?
Yes, I think they rule the roost, I think. But I guess that is natural, because I think it's a sport which is a very